Within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden beneath its murky waters, lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time.
The Chase and Shep Show with Shep and Chase.
Oh,
5 Slays of Christmas. Although you got the cool intro with this one, but
right.
still.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 25 Slays of Christmas. Slay 5.
Sounds to me like we have a new Christmas EP to work on.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns. A little Michael Keaton Batman for you.
Where's the Joker? He's not in this one because this one stars the Penguin.
He did. It's been a while since I have seen this movie.
Yeah.
I want to say the last time I probably saw this was around like 2014, 2015 was the last time I watched like all the older Batman movies.
Yeah.
I got some thoughts.
You got some thoughts on it.
I got some thoughts. It's weird because, you know, this is something I grew up with, was these Batman movies in particular. But I think after all of these years of having Batman be a particular type of way, and to go back to the Tim Burton version of Batman, like, this is most definitely Tim Burton's vision of Batman. Like, it's got Tim Burton all over it, and it's just so goofy and campy. And I feel like it rides the line. It's the transition point between the Adam West days of Batman and the Christopher Nolan days of Batman, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I definitely feel like it rides that line.
I think
but it definitely
campy
feels like
in
a
good way,
cartoon.
though.
It can be, but and that's what I'm trying to say is, like, it's more down to a personal bias at this point of like I like my Batman dark as fuck. Like, you know, that's how I like Batman. I like Batman as a grounded character and stuff. And, you know, I'm watching Penguin run around in the sewers of Gotham, and I'm just thinking, like, where's Killer Croc? Like, come and eat his ass all these years, you know? Like, my mind is in such a different time of an era of Batman, going back and revisiting these movies. But Batman Returns, especially Batman Returns, when I was a kid, I remember seeing this one a lot. I think I had it on VHS. Actually, I think I had a VHS that we recorded off of TV.
Yeah, okay.
Even better.
I had this, man. This is one of those iconic movie posters. Still know it in my head, with the 3 heads going down with Batman, Catwoman, Penguin on there. Just loved this one. I thought this movie was that shit when I was a kid. To me, I don't know, man. To me, I thought it did good with handling Batman being more of a broody, dark Batman. Like, when you see him as Bruce Wayne, he's just like sitting in a fucking room with the lights off and shit. Usually,
Right.
you know,
Bruce, you okay?
yeah, just thinking to his thoughts. Like, and you don't really see him too much as Bruce Wayne all the time. Like, when he is Bruce Wayne, he's like doing shit. He's like spying and doing some shit.
Right.
Oh, you know, and fucking with Selena Kyle, obviously.
Yeah.
Got to throw the romance in there for whatever reason.
Which I gotta say, if there's one thing that did not work for me this time around, it was the Catwoman thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, can anybody do Catwoman? Can anybody, like, make a legitimately good Catwoman?
I liked her Catwoman.
It's not that I didn't like her Catwoman. It's the way the Catwoman story is handled in this story. It just feels so fucking weird. Like, it just feels so, like, I don't know. I mean, yes, a lot of it is over the top, but like, her story specifically just feels like some woman that just lost her mind, you know? And
A
like,
little bit. I think her character suffered from the fact that, you know, after that movie, Warner Brothers was like, no more Tim Burton doing Batman and shit. And you never really got to see where her Catwoman was going.
right.
Because I believe she was supposed to come back in the 3rd one. Because they tease her at the end.
It's a common Catwoman problem. Hopefully Zoe Kravitz can step up the Catwoman game next year.
I don't know. I enjoyed, like, to me, I just now remembered about Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. So
that's what I'm saying.
That shows you, like, Selena Kyle's the from back then, the Selena Kyle played by Michelle Pfeiffer. One of my favorites, man. Like I said, no Halle Berry. I didn't enjoy Halle Berry's take. Anne Hathaway was okay, but again, kind of,
we didn't really get to see,
small enough that it was forgettable.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This movie to me blends a lot of fun. Like you got that gothic style, you got Christmas going on. So then you got the Penguin characters who do have a little bit of Christmas edge to them. I love how they keep coming out in like big presents and shit like that. And then it's just like, oh no, it's a Trojan horse. That's all of our bad guys.
Yeah. It definitely is very comic book esque. Like this was definitely the early days of comic book movies where they did stay a little bit more like cartoony and like boom pow, like, you know, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that's definitely something I enjoyed a lot growing up. Michael Keaton is a pretty good Batman. You know, he was the classic Batman for a lot of people.
I love him, and I think that you know, I'm hyped that with the new Flash movie, we get to come back to this universe and get to see what has happened since. There's been a few teases here and there. I know the Flash TV show went to the Keaton or the Burton universe in it. They didn't really show Michael Keaton, but they showed like a newspaper that had him on it, and it says Bruce Wayne marries Selena Kyle or something like that on it.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's cool, but like, yeah, I'm hyped to get back into that universe. And
I do love, because we talked about Tim Burton, I think back in October. I think maybe when we were talking about Mars Attacks, and how it's just been a while since I've just like immersed myself in the world of Tim Burton. Because Tim Burton was one of my first like favorite filmmakers, and he does have a very distinct style, and that shit is all over Batman. It's all over Batman.
It is,
and that is not a bad thing. Like I definitely don't mind it at all. Like I like Tim Burton's gothic style of storytelling with that whimsical side to it as well. Danny DeVito is a great Penguin.
That's what I was about to say. And Danny DeVito is Penguin. On top of that is all-star casting for the time period they were in my opinion. And he was creepy. He kind of made you feel uneasy as a child watching this, which I feel is what the Penguin should do.
Yes, one actor in particular that I didn't think fit in this movie, even though I love this actor, was Christopher Walken. I just felt like he felt so out of place in this movie for some reason. I don't know.
His whole look is what I think was the part, because he looked like he belonged there, but like, yeah, he's just a weird actor to put.
Yeah, I just thought that was odd. Like, it was still a solid cast for the times. Like, you know, it's like, oh, and you got Christopher Walken in this? Like, oh, cool. Like, I'm sure that's bringing people to the theaters. In what, 89, I think, is when this came out?
I think this was early 90s. 89 was the original Batman. So this was probably like 91 or 92 that this one came out.
You're right. I would say. Pulled up. Let's see here. Yeah, 92. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like there was a bigger story to have been told in this movie for sure. To get you in there. Like, why is Christopher Walken's character is such a bastard? You know, they kind of show it a little bit, but not as in depth, I guess, as they would go about it these days, I feel like. But I just thought it was, you know, as a kid, that was prime Batman.
Well, of course it was at the time. Absolutely.
When we went to the next one, I was like, what happened when we hit Batman Forever? So
yeah. Well, that's another one I haven't revisited in a while. The only thing I dig about that is Jim Carrey Riddler.
See, I don't like him as the Riddler, so
I just fuck with Jim Carrey and I fuck with the Riddler, so that was a perfect storm for me, especially when I was younger. So
I've always wanted to see the movie. They said, you know, like the director's cut of that one
of Batman Forever.
Yeah, there was a director's cut that was more on par with the Tim Burton verse than the direction that the studio wanted to go in, more kid version.
Interesting.
So I'd be interested to see that. I'm sure
Look how far we've come from that. Were we about to get our first
back in the day, though? I mean, you know, back then when they were putting these movies out, yeah, it was, you know, adults taking their kids to go see it. It wasn't very many adults like it is nowadays. It wasn't just this mainstream thing.
Yeah.
That we got now with this new Batman coming out that, you know, everybody wants to go see, and it does look very fire.
Right. And the Penguin is coming back, which honestly I'm very excited about, because I've always enjoyed the Penguin as a character, and I think it's because of this movie, growing up watching this movie, and Danny DeVito just crushed it as the Penguin. But in modern times we really haven't got the chance to see Penguin other than like in Gotham. And even then, like he was all right, but he still wasn't like Penguin as we knew him.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see this next iteration of Penguin with Colin Farrell. I think, especially watching this again, I'm like very curious to see kind of like where they're going to go with certain things, like with that character.
I think they can go in good ways. I think the Arkham games went in a pretty good way with the Penguin character.
Mhm.
So if they're on par with that, I think that they'll have some gold on their hands.
Yeah, and like I said, it was just the story for me as far as the Catwoman stuff goes. Like it was just handled really weird. It really did feel like that was one of those things where it's just like crazy woman, am I right? You know, it's just like she just spirals, just like out of control. But then like the way she dips in and out of it, like I feel like there was a lot more to explore there, and they're just like, just let her be a crazy woman. Like I feel like that was the route they took, and it's like, well, okay, it is what it is. But she is still one of the best Catwomans we've ever had. So she was good in the role. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
I would love to see another Batman movie take place at Christmas though, because I feel like Christmas time really, like, lends itself to Batman.
Yeah,
and Gotham City. I feel like that's a cool backdrop.
I love it. It's sadly these days it's can't really play it, but it's why one of my favorite games was Batman Arkham Origins. I don't know, a lot of people that one, the first one already takes place during the winter and whatnot, but they came out with a DLC that was Christmas Eve, and then it was going against like his first encounter with Mr. Freeze.
Oh, nice.
So I always loved that because it was just like you're going out on Christmas Eve, right down from, your first fucking encounters with like Joker and all of them. And it's like, fuck it. I'm going to go take this motherfucker down tonight. I used to love it. That used to be like a must every fucking Christmas time. I would bust that game out and hit that DLC and play that like on Christmas Eve because it just felt right. And now it doesn't exist anywhere, so you can't do that, sadly.
Darn. Batman Returns. What are you gonna give it?
I scored this one an 8.5 out of 10. This one very, very high standards in my life, and I love it. So,
hell yeah,
8.5. Beautiful movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7, but a solid 7. Like I really enjoyed this movie. But I don't think it aged as well for me personally. I still enjoy it for what it is, but I'm at a different place with Batman these days. So
I love it. I'll probably watch it again before Christmas. I would assume. So
it might be a while before I watch it again. I wouldn't doubt I would end up watching it again before The Flash comes out, but until then, and who knows? Maybe like Ghostbusters 2, I'll watch it again and be like, what was I on? Maybe it is an 8.5.
Never know.
Never know. Slay
5.
5.
We'll slay you later. We'll be at you with Slay 6 tomorrow.
Well, come what may. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Albert. Goodwill toward men. And women.
Jingle bells, Jack Frost smells, Bill Goldberg laid an egg. Max fucked up and Cody sucks, but Santa got away. Hey, jingle bells, Jack Frost